Hey guys, thanks for joining us for this webinar. We have Freshly Picked on with us. So we have Susan Peterson, who is the founder of Freshly Picked. This is an amazing brand. You're going to hear lots about them. You have definitely seen them all over the place. Celebrities love these guys. Susan talks about the Kardashians in first person, which is kind of cool. So just a really great brand. She's had so much success that what we're gonna try and do is get you to some pieces that will help you distill some knowledge and kind of get moving in the right direction. So we're gonna, with all these webinars, we're gonna jump in and start talking about some of her Instagram success and some of her community building success and where that's taken us. So I'm gonna welcome Susan. Welcome, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is awesome.
We're excited. I mean, there's so many questions for you, but I'm gonna try and stay zeroed in on Instagram and some of your community building. But so many questions for you, as you know from even our kind of pre-interview questions that I had for you. So let's jump into this. You've had a lot of success on Instagram. Your Instagram feed, Freshly Picked, is really amazing, and it's so well curated.
Thank you.
We would love to just get some tips on you on how you maximize Instagram, and how important it is to your business.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this a lot. When I first started Instagram, I would say like the whole goal was growth. Like we want more numbers on Instagram, and now we really need those numbers to like translate into dollars. But I feel like if you just start on Instagram as like, hey, I need a following and I need a hype train behind me, that's like a good place to start. Just down the road, be thinking like, how can I translate this into dollars? And then I kind of think of Instagram like 3 tenants, and within those tenants, sub-tenants, I would say. So the big thing for me is content. Number one, it has to be good content. And we separate our content into 3 things. One is like a value-driven content where we feel like we're giving back to the customer or we're providing value to them. Almost all of our UGC is classified in this content. And that's our user-generated content. And then we show some behind the scenes, like either in the office or something fun that we're doing. We did Office Olympics, I don't know, like 2 months ago, and showed some behind the scenes. I'm really competitive and I get super pissed when I don't win. So I don't know if it was like the best light to show me in, but
so I saw that, but I didn't see any any crazy pictures of you. I'm still smiling and I'm very excited. So I didn't see anything that incredibly crazy.
Okay, good. Oh, good. I hope it just came across as like cute, like people like, oh, that's cute, but I'm like competitive. And then the last thing we do is like sales driven content or like a call to action, like, hey, this is available, go shop. And now we're like really trying to figure out how to utilize stories in an interesting way. Stories is something that I think if you're just starting right now, it's like super awesome. And I have my social media manager. She's like all over trying to how to hack the algorithm of Instagram through stories. And I think she's come up with like some pretty unique ways. She showed me that like if you hide someone's story, you stop seeing their photo in your feed.
Okay.
Which is really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you see less of the content. Yeah. And so then her hypothesis is that if you get more interaction on stories, that people actually see more of your content within the feed too. So she's been trying to get more interaction. 2 things that she does that I think are genius that I think anyone could start implementing today is as she's doing a story, she spreads out the story with half hour in between each time she posts.
Okay.
So she's not just like posting a photo or a video and then posting again and again. She'll be like, oh my gosh, you guys, the craziest thing happened or whatever. And then it's a half hour. So what's happening is people are watching our stories.
Like a little hook.
Yeah. But then we're also like jumping back to the beginning of the story because people watched it already,
Right.
And then in the second story, she puts that poll or she tells people to DM us something. So then people are interacting with the story. And then in the third story, it's like another, like go to the shop or swipe up or do something again. So she's like getting people to interact with the story, which we've seen a drive in our interaction on our posts too. We've seen it drive up our interaction in our posts. So it's
Wow.
pretty genius, I think.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, and so for the brands that are listening to this, I mean, if you go to Freshly Picked, Freshly Picked has, I think I'm going to do the number wrong, but I think you're into the 800,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, all of this is, while it's stuff that they're doing that's amazing. I mean, you definitely can do this as a brand that drives some of that community interaction and gets what user generated content, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I want to go back to user generated content for a second.
Yeah.
In the early days, because I think it's normal for a brand to think, gosh, I've got a couple of hundred followers. How do I generate, how do I get enough user generated content? Like, who interacts?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're worried that you're showing one or two people that interact with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I used to do back in the early days, I had a team of 20, they were called brand enthusiasts.
Okay.
And I would make them answer questions on the Instagrams. And then I would also send them every new release, and then they would send us pictures. So we would just cycle through like those 20 and then add in more. Now we're abundant in user generated content. We have so much, but I think sometimes if you don't have enough, you need to farm it out. I think something else to consider is like Freshly Picked is a really aspirational brand. And so people, not only from a product, but from like if we post about you, it definitely will drive traffic to your personal feed. And so that we also have that going for us. But I would say, like, whether or not you have a huge following, you can create that aspirational feeling by curating your feed super well and being like people would say, oh, well, what do I have to do to get posted? And it's like, we have actually like a list of style guidelines that we'll send out to people, like,
oh, wow.
Hey, like, no Native American anything. Like, if you post a baby with a picture of Native American anything, like, we won't post it on our feed. Right. You need a white background. Like, we just like have all these like style guidelines. So if people are serious about wanting to get posted, then we send them something that definitely is like, here's a level of pictures that we're looking for,
Got it. I also wanted to ask you, because so you've got user-driven content, you've got behind the scenes, and then the other one you've got is sales-driven content.
Yeah.
I think for little brands, there's always that struggle of like, how, does social media really convert? So I kind of wanted you to spend a little time telling us about, exactly user-driven content. Do you see is it that outrageous? Do you get like a 1-to-1 ratio? Like, so people that interact with your Instagram go and buy your stuff, or?
Oh, I wish,
extreme,
right?
What
if I got 800,000 sales? Oh my gosh. No, Instagram is honestly like getting harder and harder to get conversions off of for us. I think we're also in this, like, we're above 800K. So we've yet to convert our account to a business account, and we get throttled a lot because of it. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm on someone's crap list. Like, I feel like I am. So we're biding our time until they just flip the switch for us and they're like, listen, your business account, So I think I feel like people with a smaller Instagram following actually have like a bigger opportunity to hack, if you will, the algorithm, because Facebook's not going to, Facebook and Instagram aren't going to get money from the smaller accounts. They're looking for money from the bigger accounts. Yeah. And we spend about $1 million a year on Facebook advertising. Wow. We don't want to do that on Instagram yet, but it's feeling more and more like that's the direction we're moving.
Someday they'll find you.
They're going to get us. I used to play this game on Facebook, though. I didn't pay for ads until 2015. And so we hacked Facebook for a long time, and we're still trying to figure out if we can hack Instagram. As long as there's an algorithm to be hacked, I say.
Yeah.
So I think we actually have more interaction on Instagram on user generated and behind the scenes. There's more likes, there are more comments. We have more buys off of our sales driven content. And those are like our pretty styled overhead shots. More people come to the shop from those posts. Yeah.
Okay.
So it like the posts do what we want them to do, essentially, I feel like.
Wow.
And that's around that goes though with like really good imagery, really good copy, and like really nailing your brand.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I do want to ask you about the way you approach building a community. So you've got kind of this genuine and unique way of doing it. Everyone talks about community, and right now experiential marketing and all those things are really big, but you've kind of got this unique way of approaching it. So would you mind talking about that a little?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the geniusness that I told you that you're referring to. I mean, listen, let me see. What did I tell you?
So we talked about, yeah, no worries. We talked about how, one, you've got this, you've got a very open door approach, right? So,
yes.
One, you don't pay for influencers.
Right.
Which I think was really big, for us to hear. And then two was about, really taking the effort to collab with almost anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So anyone that reaches out to us and says, hey, I want to try your moccasins, or I want to do a giveaway with you, or whatever it is, no matter how big or small, we say yes to everyone. And then our bigger influencers, and anyone from celebrity down to like someone who has 300 followers on Instagram, we're saying those are our influencers. And the bigger influencers, we surprise and delight with no expectations is kind of our thing. And so we'll, like a big Instagrammer, we just know when her child is sizing up, and we just send a new box of mocks every month or every quarter. And it's the next size, and it's all these new colors and sizes. And then we just say, like, we love you. And that's it. But the awesome part about our moccasins is that they do fit into your life. And so their children are constantly being photographed, and we're constantly being tagged from that effort.
Wow. And I love it. Right. And so, for brands that are listening, I mean, that's a big thing, right? Is just this whole idea of really just building, Susan's kind of walking around building love with moccasins, really.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't, you don't expect anything back, right? But you do, you get a lot back for it.
Yeah. I mean, there is that law of reciprocity where if someone gives you something for free and it's genuine and it's authentic, I think people, they'll try to pay you back in some way. When we launched our diaper bag, it was like a Monday. Someone said, hey, do you think we could get these 4 influencers to your house on Thursday, and we can have a barbecue, and they'll be in a photo shoot? And I was like, yeah, let's see. So I reached out to them, and all 4 said yes. And they brought their kids over on a school night on a Thursday. And these are like between like 100 to like 500,000 followers each, and modeled for free for our photo shoot. And I mean, we gave them a bag, but we've just like supplied them with moccasins and like taken care of them from a brand point of view. So they dropped what they were doing. They brought their husbands and their children and did a photo shoot.
And you, I'm equally amazed in there that, one, they did that on a school night, right, with their children.
Right.
And two, that you were able to get your place ready from Monday to Thursday. I mean, I'm not implying anything. I'm house everything, but you're able to host a party on Thursday night from like a Monday short notice thing. So,
well, I mean, I have a lot of help in my life. I'm one of those people who hires out just about anything that I don't want to do. So, I don't. Yeah. So we have a lot of help. So we were able to get it organized.
I love it. That's so funny.
Plus I kind of run a tight ship. I really do. So things are clean all the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. I like it. Okay. So I want to move to the last question we have,
Yeah.
which,
Oh wait, one more thing though,
yes,
consistency.
yes,
That was another thing for Instagram is like you can't post once and then wait like 3 weeks and then post again.
right.
You need to post
Regular.
consistently. And Instagram has so many insights right now, so you can see according to your audience when the most interaction is happening across your posts. Oh, sorry. And so I thought I shut that down. So you'll be able to, you can figure out when the best time for you to post is, and it doesn't have to be every day, but I would say set up a consistent flow. And we have an editorial calendar that we work off of.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Brands, we tell you that all the time. So I'm going to like take the opportunity, right? Analytics right now, like there's so many analytics from like Google Analytics to every platform has their own. This is another proof positive. Like you've got to use the numbers that are out there, right? Because it's, there's an art to your business and then there's a science, and this is the science part, right? Which I really love. So yeah.
I'm always pushing against the science because I just want to do cool stuff without it having any consequences. But I've luckily hired a lot of people around me who care about they're very data driven.
Yeah.
So if I want to do something cool, I actually have to have a lot of data to back it up to get buy-in from people. So I've given myself these like rules in a way. Yeah.
You're a woman after my own heart because I'm like that. I only want to do the fun things.
Right.
So the team around me is always like, so if I see that face, if I see that, hey, what about this? And I see people go, I go, oh, the data says I shouldn't go there. So let's just go do
find
something else cool to do.
Yeah. I've also found data is manipulatable.
Well, you manage the analysis for the outcome that you want. I think that's what.
Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
Right. That's what we want to do with it. So
exactly.
Okay. So the last question I have is around the extension of your communities, right? Because you've gotten into this place where you've got a fairly serious following among celebrities. The Kardashians, the Jessica Alba, Mila Kunis, and the list kind of goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Do you, like every brand kind of aspires for that? So do you mind kind of sharing a little bit of how you got there? I mean, obviously it ties and they'll see that flow into like the community stuff that you were talking about before, but how does that all kind of tie together for you?
Yeah. So I think I told you this, but like every good thing in my life, I kind of just fall backwards into. And I know that sucks as an answer because people are thinking, what? That's not a real thing. That's not something actionable I can do. But really and truly, the editor for Parenting Magazine reached out to me and said, hey, I need mocks for Kourtney Kardashian's photo shoot with Mason. And so I sent a bunch of mocks, and then she gave the extra to Kourtney, and then we started working with Kourtney directly after that.
Wow.
But I will tell you this, I am genius at seeing opportunity where other people don't see it. And I would say that that's something that I could challenge people to do, is that like, some people might just send like 1 or 2 pairs of mocks if someone's pulling something for a photo shoot. And I saw it as a huge opportunity for me, and like tried to really be thoughtful about how can I take advantage? How can I best make this opportunity a springboard? And how can I have it launch stuff? So I even reached out and said, hey, will you connect me with Kourtney's people? And she did. And so I feel like you have to be uncomfortable and you have to ask for what you want. And sometimes people say no, and that's fine. But a lot of times people want to help you out, and people are genuinely good. And so recognize, like, if I could give people one thing of advice, is like recognize things for opportunities. And it may not even feel like an opportunity. Like, I was still making the moccasins myself when that happened. So I was still hand cutting and hand sewing each pair. So it was a lot of work, and I had to get them out overnight. And so I stayed up all night and got them done and sent them out. And so like, go for it. And just, if Fortune knocks, like freaking answer the door, pull Fortune inside, lock the door, burn the house down, like get it done, like you need to recognize when something good is something good and really try to take advantage of it.
I would actually, I would actually say to you that I don't think you fall back into anything. I actually think that that's another formula that you could be sharing, right? Is that one, you recognize the moments when they come, big or small. And then two is you really lean into surprise and delight, right? Is that every situation that arises, whether small or big, you have this commitment to surprising and making sure that they're delighted. And it doesn't really matter, right? And I think that equals, reciprocity and kind of some of the stuff that you're after. So I'd actually say,
really nice.
I don't think that I don't think any of this was fortunate. I think fortune favors the bold, and I think you're doing kind of really
sweet.
So, yeah.
Wow, you're nice. I want to put you in my pocket.
No, I just, I think, I mean, one of the reasons we're so excited to get you on was just that, you've got this brand that is just so amazing, and everyone aspires to do what you're doing. Like you are, you're hanging out with the Kardashians and getting stuff done, and it's pretty cool. Now you're this.
Actually, I'm like in bed by 8 every night, and I go hiking at 6. Like I lead a pretty boring life.
I just built you all up, and you took it all down.
No, listen, I've been I've been lucky, and I've worked hard, and I think that those two things go hand in hand for sure. Yeah,
that's amazing. Thank you for being on this webinar.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah, no, thank you. And then, so for all your brands that are watching this, you are in the Q&A forum. So make sure you post your questions below, and then Susan will answer them, short of giving away her secret sauce, which you won't do, right? You seem like a good person. You might give away some of it, but
I mean, I just gave you guys our Instagram story tips, and I just learned about them yesterday. So I think that I believe in the sharing economy, 100%. Yeah.
We love it. Thank you so much. And you guys post your questions below, and Susan will be there to answer them. All right?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.